Welcome to Brave Inflections. My name is Claudelle. I am the founder of Brave Inflections, and I thank you for visiting the website and in particular looking at the products that we have on offer. In this video, I want to talk to you about one of the topics that I cover, and that is building an ethical culture. And this topic can, as with most of my topics, can either be a keynote, which would be at a high level, and I would cover the main issues at a very, very high level, or it could be a half-day workshop where we would sit with the leadership team and go a little deeper on the concepts, or it could be a customized training for the organization as well. And that training could happen at various levels within the organization, depending on what it is that the organization needs. And all of the various forms within which we can present this topic to your organization, it could all either be online or face-to-face, depending on your needs. So when you're talking about building an ethical culture, I've developed a model that looks at culture through 6 different lenses. That is leadership, mission, and when we talk about mission, it's how the organization execute its mission. That includes the people, the processes, and so forth. Governance, ethics, intelligence, accountability, and rehabilitation, and in crisis management and recovery. Because I find that often when we talk about culture, we tend to be a little one-dimensional about it, although we should be looking at it from through different lenses. And each one of these 6 dimensions have got its own different components built underneath it. And then we also look at it from a perspective of whether ethics is literally flowing through each one of those dimensions. And so if we're looking at leadership, to what degree are we ensuring that ethics is instilled, that it permeates throughout that dimension within the model. Then also, we look at what is the measurement tools that you need to use in assessing whether your culture is an ethical culture. And we use self-assessment tools that I can help the leadership in the organization in terms of its self-assessment. Also do independent external assessments. And this one I mention in particular because I often find that the external assessors or the independent assurance providers, those who's going to provide the board with independent assurance, are often not looking at the culture dimension. So from a board perspective, ensuring that the organization has an ethical culture, that is one of the responsibilities of the board. But the board needs to know what is going on in the organization through the assurance providers. But because the board doesn't live in the organization, right? So the board is very dependent on the assurance providers. So I almost come in as an extra leg, as an outsourced partner to those assurance providers to do the external assessment on the culture, and in particular also looking at whether it is an ethical culture. Right, so just to give you a little bit of a taste, so if we look at it, the leadership dimension, I look at competence, maturity, and tone. And in each one of those dimensions, competence, maturity, and tone, there is a whole layer of elements and that we look at that would determine whether, when we talk about the leadership within the context of an ethical culture, that we can tick and say, yes, we are competent in that area. Yes, we are mature in that area. Yes, we're setting the right tone in that area within the organization. So in terms of overview in terms of what Brave Inflections does and what we offer, strategic advice, particularly in the area of strategy formulation, taking people through change and uncertainty, governance, and building ethical organizations. The culture turnaround that we work on is that very much in relation to this video. The topic that I've covered now is the culture assessments, advising and culture turnaround strategies, building strong governance structures, also whistleblower support, which is often overlooked by organizations. Also in terms of facilitating strategic sessions, strategic conversations. So you've got a sounding board from outside that helps the leadership to not go into groupthink or talk into an echo chamber. Training, specifically in leadership, governance, and ethics. And the way I work with the training is to really customize it fit for purpose for the organization. So I start with an assessment in terms of where the organization is in that particular area, and then sculpt the training to suit the organization. Executive coaching, specializing in leaders that go through transition points where they've got to make really tough decisions, those who are at inflection points. Also, leaders who are being groomed for a promotion. So they need to take a quantum leap, and they need a coach to run alongside them. Also, previously disadvantaged individuals, leaders who come from a previously disadvantaged position, who are being fast-tracked to go to more senior positions. And then keynote speaking at conferences. That's building ethical culture is what I focus on. Leadership, ethical courage, building strong themes. Those are the themes, and within those themes, I've got various topics as well. And a lot of those can be chopped and changed and customized for the organization based on the organization's needs. Well, I hope that gives you a little bit of insight in terms of what it is that we cover in terms of building an ethical culture. If you want more information, you are more than welcome to contact, and we can have a conversation around what it is that your organization needs. Thank you very much for listening and for visiting, once again, for visiting the website. Go and have a look at the rest of the website. There are quite a number of posts there that are related to building an ethical culture within the organization that I think you may find very useful. Thank you.